Dear learners, we will be proceeding further in chapter 11 named as Force and Pressure. We had already discussed about the definition of force and various directions of force. Now we will learn that a force can change the state of motion. The state of motion of an object is described by its speed and the direction of motion. The state of rest is considered to be the state of zero speed. An object may be at rest or in motion. Both are its state of motion. Let us do an activity. Take a rubber ball and place it on a level surface such as a tabletop or a concrete floor. Now gently push the ball along the leveled surface. What does happen? The ball begins to move. Push the ball again while it is still moving. Is there any change in its speed? Yes, its speed increases. Now place your palm in front of the moving ball and remove your palm as soon as the moving ball touches it. What happens? Palm applies a force on the ball and the speed of the ball decreases. If you let your palm hold the moving ball, its speed decreases to 0. One more example. While taking a penalty kick in football, the player applies a force on the ball. Before being hit, the ball was at rest, so its speed was 0. The applied force makes the ball move towards the goal. Suppose the goalkeeper dives or jumps up to save the goal. By his action, the goalkeeper tries to apply a force on the moving ball. The force applied by him can stop or deflect the ball, saving a goal being scored. So here the trick is to change the direction of the moving ball or to stop it. If the goalkeeper succeeds in stopping the ball, its speed decreases to 0. A force can change the state of motion also. A force applied on an object may change its speed. If the force applied on the object is in the direction of its motion, the speed of the object increases. And if the force is applied in the direction opposite to the direction of motion, then it results in a decrease in the speed of the object. Like you must have noticed, whenever you play like here in the diagram, the speed of the tire increases whenever it is pushed. A force can change the state of motion, and we can prove it with the help of an activity. Take a rubber ball and place it on a leveled surface like a tabletop or a concrete floor, and make the ball moving by giving it a push. Now place a ruler in its path. What happens? Students, we will see when the ruler is placed, then the direction of motion of the ball after it strikes the ruler placed in its path gets changed. See in the diagram. The ball will change its direction after striking against the ruler. Let us do some more examples. Like in the game of volleyball, players often push the moving ball to their teammates to make a winning move. Sometimes the ball is returned to the other side of the court by pushing or smashing it. Right? In cricket, a batsman plays his or her shot by applying a force on the ball with the bat. In all these above quoted examples, the speed and the direction of the moving ball gets changed only by the application of force. So, a change in either the speed of an object or its direction of motion or both, that is the change in its state of motion. Thus, a force may bring a change in the state of motion of an object. Does it mean that the application of force would always result in a change in the state of motion of the object? No. Many a times, application of force doesn't result in a change in the state of motion. Can you state some examples? Let me help you with this. For example, a heavy box may not move at all even if you apply the maximum force that you can exert against it. No effect of force is observed when you try to push a wall. Do you agree on this point? You must. So there is no change in the state of motion of an object even if you are applying a large amount of force against the wall. So what is the reason behind it? We will discuss it later on. Force can change the shape of an object and we can study it with the help of an activity. Here we can describe different situations and how the force is applied, and then whether there is a change in state of motion or not, or there is a change in shape or not. So when a lump of dough on a plate is placed, what do? We press it down with our hands. So there is a change in the state of motion, as well there is a change in its shape. There is a spring fixed to the seat of a bicycle. How can you apply force? You can sit on the seat. So there is a change in shape only, but not in the state of motion. When a rubber band suspended from a hook or nail fixed on a wall, then how can you apply force? Simply by hanging a weight or by pulling its free end, you can apply force. So what will be the action of force here? There is no change in state of motion, but yes, there is a change in shape. The rubber band changes its shape. It gets stretched. Then the next activity, then we take a plastic or metal scale placed between two bricks, and the method of application of force can be by putting a weight at the center of the scale. So after observing, what is observed here? There is no change in state of motion, but there is a change in state in the form of shape. The shapes gets changed. Is it fine with you? So you can have different activities from your daily life and see whether there are changes in shape or in state of motion. Here are some more examples which you can detect whether there is a change or not in state of motion or at shape. What happens when you apply a force on an inflated balloon by pressing it between your palms? What happens? What happens to the shape of a ball of dough when it is rolled to make a chapati? What happens when you press a rubber ball? Dear students, in all these examples, you saw that the application of force on an object may change the shape of the object on which there is force being applied. Like in the case of dough, in the case of a rubber ball, or in an inflated balloon, everywhere we apply some force and there is a change in the shape. So what are the various effects of force? A force may make an object move from rest. It may change the speed of an object if it is moving. It may change the direction of motion of an object. It may bring about a change in the shape of an object. It may cause some or all of these effects. Thus, an object cannot move by itself. It cannot change its speed by itself. It cannot change direction by itself. And its shape cannot change by itself. It requires, all these changes requires a force to be applied. A force should be applied to make any change in the shape of the object. Thanks for watching.